everybody. It's me. I'm back, the KGC show. And today, I think I have got the best guest of all time. He comes to us. He is originally from Bruton, Alabama, but he's in his historic Golden Arrow Plantation in Tennessee today. And we are going to be talking about his new book called Golden Memories, a book full of all of his landscape photography from all over the years with the Oak Ridge Boys. I love him, and you do too. He's a member of the Grand Ole Opry, a Country Music Hall of Fame, Gospel Music Hall of Fame, an Alabama Music Hall of Fame, and I'm pretty sure one day he will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Please give it up for the pride and joy of Bruton, Alabama, Mr. William Lee Golden. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, Caden. Great to be back with you here today.
Thanks for coming back on. How you been doing since the last time we chatted?
Well, I've been doing a lot of stuff. Been staying busy, man. I've got a couple of albums here with the Oak Ridge Boys since we talked last, and also I had the other book last time over here, but I've put together a book of a lot of my photography that I did out on the road when I was trying to take photographs of landscape stuff and beautiful state parks, national parks, and places I would visit on tour with the Oak Ridge Boys. Instead of sitting in a hotel all day, I'd maybe rent a car and take my cameras and go out and see a state park or a national park and spend a day out shooting photographs of beautiful landscapes and come back and then clean up and go do a show. So it's kind of get a feeling of where you're at in life.
Yeah. And you have taken some of the best photographs that people can see online on your social media as well. So, how did you get into photography?
Man, it was not that long ago. It was I always liked photography, but I never had any good cameras. I had a camera that kind of a passed down that someone else had, and but I didn't have a good camera. But it was back, I guess, in 2008. It was about a month or so before my mother passed away, actually, that my third wife, Brenda, and Solomon, my youngest son, gave me a camera as a gift to take landscape photos to kind of show Solomon where I was at, where I was going, and to share things like that with him. And I kind of was using it also I was painting some then, doing landscape paintings and doing art. And I would use my photos as reference photos of different shots of the area that I might choose to paint. But that's kind of how I got into doing photographs and having a camera. And it was when they gave me a digital camera that opened up a whole new world for me, and I could see it immediately. You could look and see what's going on, and it helps you learn a lot about light and shadows and the backlight, front light, and the way light affects every photograph. But I learned a lot during just with a camera and enjoyed having a camera and captured great shots. But it was I did that for a few years, 15, 15 or 20 years, maybe, that I've been kind of doing that. But I took real nice cameras. I got real good cameras and good lens to be able to make great photographs and to capture beautiful scenery. And so I would do that and travel different parts in Europe, go on vacation with my family, taking my young son Solomon, and we'd take pictures together. And we're going to the islands, to St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands, and I got some beautiful shots there. But it was through traveling, and it's a way of with a camera, it's so immediate that I got to where I was enjoying as taking pictures as much as I was trying to paint, and I'm a real slow painter to begin with. It's real slow, and it takes me 3 to 4 or 5 months sometimes to finish a piece from the time I start it till I finish it. So it's photography is much more immediate, so you can capture a lot of scenes. At the time, I could be painting one, but so it was a phase, I guess, that I went through when I was trying to paint landscape paintings.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite photograph that you've taken that's in the book that you're really proud of?
There's several in there. There was one that I've got some in my home here that are big, big, huge photographs that are either on canvas or some on board, that's put that I use as fine art in our home here. But some of my photographs, and there's a couple of churches over in Missouri that I've photographed. One is out at the top of the rock. It's a rock church. It looks old, but it's not that old. And another one is a chapel down, and they're both kind of chapels, and the other one is down at the Big Cedar Lodge. Both Big Cedar Lodge and Top of the Rock are both owned by Johnny Morris, and he built both of those. He's a guy that owns the Bass Pro Shops. So he he's quite an interesting guy, and he's built some great places there around in Missouri that we've traveled to and used to go to a lot. So, but yeah, those places, and I've got some shots of up at North Lake Tahoe that I also like that are great photographs of just a beautiful setting. The foreground and the background and everything about the photos are great.
Yeah. And people can go pre-order this book at williamleegoldenbook.com. It will be the first link in the description down below. So make sure that you guys get your limited copies. You guys are only doing a limited copies with this book. Can you explain why you guys are doing that?
Well, I'm not sure. Scott thought it'd be a better idea to just, since it's a photograph book, let's do a limited amount of them, and we'll try to sell it to the people that are actual fans of my work, for us, my photos, and kind of keeps up with us and what we do, singing and traveling. So it's a way that you can share some of those memories of what you saw out there traveling, because like you mentioned earlier, I'm from Bruton, Alabama. I grew up out in the country in Bruton down there, and about 6 miles from town. But it's growing up like that, you have an appreciation for all the beautiful sights in the world that we get to see. And I've traveled through my years. I'm in awe of everywhere we travel to. You're just, so it was for years I didn't take cameras with me, and now then I take my iPhone camera, and that's about it. I don't take. There's too many people on the bus now to carry all my cameras and stuff too.
And I have to mention, when you were in Spokane this past summer doing with the Oak Ridge Boys on the American Made Farewell Tour, which we'll talk about in just a second, you got some pretty cool shots of when you were up here in Montana and Washington and Oregon. What was that like for you?
Well, most of them I would take photographs out the bus window, sit up in front of the bus or stand up in a step well there in the bus with my iPhone and take them out the window as you're traveling, a bunch of them. But yeah, we traveled from across Montana up through Spokane out to Lincoln City, Oregon, just out from Portland, Oregon there, back up through Washington there, and back through Montana. And that beautiful ride along the Missouri River, kind of up at the headwaters of the Missouri River where it flows east, following that river for several miles there, for 100 miles or so. And that's just beautiful settings. But yeah, I enjoy stuff like that, seeing beautiful places that you never saw growing up, and but it's ever changing. You may see somewhere this time, and you may be back in a different season next year, or the next time you're there, it might be a totally different season. So it's you find the beauty of it in whatever season it's in.
Amen. Amen. Couldn't have said it better myself. So, how long do you live with a picture before you post it to the social media and before you put it in the book? How long do you have to examine a picture until you let the public see it?
Well, it's different times, you know. If we're traveling on a bus, sometimes I would take photos and we'd still be traveling. Whether I'd go through some of them and it would go through a beautiful area, and I'd pick out which ones I wanted to post and put three or four or five of them out there and let people see them. And on Twitter, you can put four photos there, you know. But like Facebook, you can add several. You could put 25 or more.
Yeah. So, do you think that has helped you maintain some type of, does that still bring you joy going out and shooting photographs?
Hey, I find joy in every day that I live. Really, it's you try to find joy, and you want every day to be beautiful, but they're not. You know, we just had a big ice storm here a few days ago, and so we were kind of locked down for a few days there. And thank God we were only without power one day there for most of the day, and then that evening it came back on. We're lucky, but some of our people was not as lucky. Richard Sturban, he was without power for over a week. So he and his family, so they had to move in with his youngest daughter there for a few days. But people survive. That's the main thing.
So we have talked about the Golden Memories book, and I want to tell people again that they can go pre-order the book at williamleegoldenbook.com. It's the pre-order right now, and it releases later this month, right?
Yeah, on the 27th here of February, it'll be out. And February has 28 days, so it's next to the last day, I guess. But yeah, it comes out here, and you can order it. And that's basically the way it'll probably be sold, is more through ordering and through the book sales. Scott England helps handle all of that. He's the guy that helped put it all together. And I let him take my computer that I had probably 100,000 photos on. And so I let him take it home and go through all of them and kind of see what subjects he thought would fit good within a book form and what might be interested. And so that's what we did. Is I let him help pick a lot of the songs. I had some that I picked up that I thought would be great fine art type photographs, stuff that I did for my home here. You know, we've got different photographs here that we're hanging that I did. So in a big setting. So yeah, that's kind of what I enjoy doing too.
And for people that don't know who Scott England is, you must be living under a rock because he did this book too, The Behind the Beard. So can you talk to us a little bit about what it was like getting to work with Scott England yet again for this new book?
Well, Scott's a great guy. Uh, we've known Scott, like we were talking earlier. I've known Scott for several years. He was in television uh, before he got into writing books. He was a writer for television up in Illinois. We would see him up there and knew him and his family before they moved to Nashville. But he was a record producer, television producer, a television host. He would interview us when we'd be playing in the area up there, and was a great guy. And we went us on his show at the station there a time or two. So we got to know Scott through the years. And he had asked me about writing a book. He asked me 3 or 4 times, and I've never tried to write a book. I didn't try to write my story down or anything. And I told him, that I'm not good at that. He said, well, you can take a recorder maybe. I said, well, I don't know about that. Might be hard to do to be to focus like that. So he said, I'll help you. He said, I'll come here and we'll talk and we'll keep a record of it. So he had a little recorder. He would come, we'd sit on the front porch about every 2 or 3 days. He'd come sit the little recorder on the table between us and had a legal pad. He would write questions and he would talk to me and ask what he wanted to talk about. And he would leave and we'd come back 2 or 3 days and he'd sit again. We did that for 6 or 8 months. And I said, Scott, you can talk to any of the people that we talk about in my life. You're welcome to talk to anybody about me that knows me to find out their side of my story. And he did. He talked to a lot of people. He talked to all my singing partners. He talked to 2 of my wives, my first wife and my fourth wife. And so, but yeah, he talked to different people and put this book together. I think
Yeah,
I've lost.
yeah, I'm still here.
All
Uh,
right. Well, yeah, I can't see you, but go ahead.
yeah. What has your friendship with Jeff Panzer met all of these years?
Well, I met Jeff back in the early 80s, 81, I believe, or 1980. And he's one of those guys that you met and stayed in touch with. And we kept in touch through the years, man. And that's been a few years now. So I've been at this place here for 46 years. I've known Jeff almost that long because I hadn't been out here but about a year or so when we met. And he was doing a piece on Alabama at the time we met. But we've stayed in touch, and through the years, he's been one of my true friends and close friends that we've stayed in touch with throughout all the years, through all of my ups and downs and sideways and everything that I've been through. But we've just been friends, man. And he's one of my very closest friends and confidant. And he's a guy that I can talk to about whatever, about anything. And he's an understanding guy, but he's also a compassionate guy. And besides that, he's extremely talented in what he does. So, yeah, Jeff Pander is one of my greatest and truest friends of all of them.
That's right. And I could say the same thing about what he has done for me. So now let's transfer from the books to now. What's new with the Oak Ridge Boys, buddy?
Well, we just got out of the we just got out of the studio doing a brand new album with the Oak Ridge Boys. Uh, Dave Cobb's producing this new project. Him and Anderson East are kind of co-producing it. We did this at Anderson East Studio in West Nashville, but we just finished that in December here with the Oak Ridge Boys' brand new album, and it'll be called Buried Treasures. There's a brand new song on there that's called Buried Treasures that Dwayne sings. So then there's other great songs on there that they picked for us to do. Ben James sings a classic song, which is another treasure. Is You Are So Beautiful. Uh, Dave wanted me to sing a classic song, Bridge Over Troubled Water. So it's that type of songs that we put into this album, plus some new songs. It's classic songs that are buried treasures that have influenced us in life and helped us in healing situations. So we just finished that with the Oak Ridge Boys in December, and that's coming out sometime later this year at 26.
I
And
like it.
we're headed in a couple of weeks here. We're headed down to Florida to do the Florida Strawberry Festival, and then back up to Georgia to do a big concert. So Oak Ridge Boys are gearing up for a busy year again this year. And that's where our focus has been for all these years. And it's putting the priorities where priorities should be. And that's what we come to town to do. And we come to sing with the Oak Ridge Boys. And the Oak Ridge Boys are going to be touring all year this year and next year.
Yeah, I heard through the grapevines that you guys outlasted your farewell tour and it's now becoming the Route 66 tour.
Right. So this year we're going to be going from coast to coast, like Route 66, from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. We're going to take some side roads in between. So y'all come out, let's sing and have some fun.
There you go. And you are probably, not probably, you are, if you ever go to an Oak Ridge Boys show today, you will hear William Lee intro the show and everything. What has that been like for you? You get to say, hello, Spokane, and have fun with the crowd. What has that been like for you?
Well, man, it's just, it's who I am and it's being able to communicate with the people that we love so much, man. Spokane's a special town for the Oak Ridge Boys. It's the first town that we ever sang Elvira in. And we'll never forget that experience because it happened the same time the next night in Seattle, then the following night in Portland was the first three towns that we ever sang Elvira in. But Spokane was the very first town we ever sang Elvira in concert. And the tremendous response propelled us to release that as a single, and it became one of the most highly sought after songs, and people buying it and selling it and playing it. It spilled over out of country into pop and rock and roll. So everybody in the summer of 1981 was singing "Oom Papa Bow Bow."
There you go. And that song is just as timeless. But William Lee, I have to ask you, what is your favorite Oak Ridge Boy album?
Favorite Oak Ridge Boy album. Go back to the first Y'all Come Back Saloon would be a good one. Then they're all good, man. Each one of them has different memories, different songs and different memories. From the time you're recording it, the times that you sing them for the first time in concert, and things like that. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of great albums, and I think one of the fun albums to me is I'm looking forward to the one that we just finished to be able to put it on and hear the whole album through.
And I want to say congratulations to you and all the Oak Ridge Boys on your recent win for a Telly Award for your latest single called Come On Home.
That was last year, man. We did win a Telly Award. First Telly Award the Oak Ridge Boys ever won. And it's for a music video that we did last year featuring our young tenor singer, Ben James, as a young boy leaving home and going out in the world to make it in his high mile Cadillac, which actually was Chris's old Cadillac.
Where can people go and keep up with you guys?
Well, for the Oak Ridge Boys, it's oakridgeboys.com. At Oak Ridge Boys, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, all of that. The Oak Ridge Boys are there. You can keep up with us, what's happening now on all of those platforms, the social media platforms. But at our website, the oakridgeboys.com, I got a website, williamleegolden.com. We're all on social media. I've got my social media accounts, and each of the Oak Ridge Boys, we all have our social media accounts. But together, we're the Oak Ridge Boys.
I can't wait for people to hear this new Buried Treasures record later out this year. But please make sure that you guys go to williamleegoldenbook.com, not only to get his amazing autobiography, which you will, if you have not gained a lot of respect for William Lee, you will after reading this. This is probably, I get something out of this just like when I read the Bible. That's as is, to me, the center of what William Lee does. But go get his new book, Golden Memories, out February the 27th. And William Lee, why don't you come back when the new album's released and talk a little bit about it?
Hey, we'd love to, man. And I mentioned to Ben James about coming and being on your show here too. He said he'd love to do it.
That sounds good. And I would love to host them, man. Maybe we'll get all four of you guys when the album's released.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I love you, William Lee. Thank you so much for your time, sir. And have a great, great 2026 and blessings to you and all the boys. Send my love to you guys.
Hayden Collins, always good to see you and hear from you, man. Keep it all in the road. We'll see you on down the road.
See you on down the road. Ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please give it up for the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. William Lee Golden. Thank you, Golden.
All right.